Today's lesson is called Bank It, Don't Blow It. Hello everyone, my name is Helen.
And my name is Roger.
And today we'll be talking about a topic that many people have trouble with. I know I do, and that is saving money. We all know that saving money is important, whether it's your salary, the money you get from your job every month, or your allowance, the money you get from your parents if you're a student. Regardless of where your money is coming from, it's a good idea not to spend it all each time as soon as you get it.
Indeed, that is good advice. So take a look at the title for today's lesson, Bank It, Don't Blow It. Now, of course, you know the bank is a place where you can open an account and save money, but notice here we're using it as a verb. This is a slang expression. To bank it means to put money in the bank to save it. And of course, if you blow money, that means you kind of wastefully spend it.
Right. So it's not a good idea to blow your money because you want to be able to save a little bit of it every time you get your money. So the important thing about saving money is that you don't really know what's going to happen in the future. So you want to be prepared for anything that might happen that would require money.
Indeed, that is good advice, and I'm sure a lot of you heed that advice. But let's talk about some other ways that you might be able to save money in your lives. Let's listen to the first part of our lesson now one time.
Bank it, don't blow it. We've all been lectured about the importance of saving money, but actually putting something away for a rainy day isn't as easy as your parents might make it out to be. When you have money, the temptation is to spend it, and before you know it, a movie ticket here, a milk tea there, that money is all gone. Saving money is a learned skill, and just like any skill, time and practice are necessary to get good at it.
Hello， 大家好。第一部分我们看到片语 make out， 表示声称、力图说成，常用 make something or somebody out to be， 加名词或形容词，来指把某人、事或物说成点点点，暗示着此认知并不正确。例如 Roger made his illness out to be more serious than it really is. Roger 让人误以为他的病情比实际上严重。接着我们看到一个名词 temptation， 指诱惑、诱因，像是 While I was on my diet, I always found potato chips a big temptation. 每当我在节食时，洋芋片对我来说都是很大的诱惑。另外，去除 temptation 字尾的 ation， 可以成为它的动词 tempt， 指引诱、吸引。我们可以说Max tempted the nervous kitten with a bowl of food. Max 用一碗食物引诱那只紧张的小猫咪。
Okay, so again, the title of today's lesson is Bank It, Don't Blow It. Save your money and don't foolishly spend your money. And here the first sentence says, We've all been lectured about the importance of saving money, but actually putting something away for a rainy day isn't as easy as your parents might make it out to be. This is a pretty long sentence, so we're going to break it down into smaller parts here. In the first part, it says, we've all been lectured about the importance of saving money. Now, lecture, to me, usually is a noun. When I went to university, of course, you would attend a lecture by the professor in a certain subject, and then later you would go to the lab class or something on a separate day. That's a lecture. Or if you want to go hear an interesting speaker, you would probably go to a lecture. But here the word lecture is being used as a verb.
That's right. Here, lecture can also mean to criticize or warn someone about something, and it's often done in an annoying way. So often our parents would lecture us, or our teacher, adults would lecture children about certain things that they should know in life. Like my mom always lectures me about the importance of keeping my room clean, or my father always lectures me about the importance of working hard and studying. So lecturing is usually something that parents do or adults do to children.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I came to Taiwan here because I got sick of listening to my mother lecture to me about how to run my life. I'm just kidding there. She's actually a very nice woman. But yes, people are probably telling you all the time about the importance of saving money, but actually putting something away for a rainy day isn't very easy. So here we've got the phrase to put something away for a rainy day. You could also say save for a rainy day, which basically I think is the same thing as the Chinese expression 未雨绸缪, right?
I think that's what it means.
Right. So, yes, you basically want to set aside a little nest egg just in case something happens, or you want to save so you can buy a house in the future or prepare for your retirement, save for traveling, things like that.
That's right. And it may sound simple. It sounds logical. You'd want to save some money for the future, for when you need money to buy something or to pay for something. But in reality, it's not that easy because what happens is we are faced with temptations all the time. As the next sentence says, when you have money, the temptation is to spend it, and before you know it, a movie ticket here, a milk tea there, the money is all gone. So the problem is we are faced with temptation. Now, temptation is a strong feeling of wanting to have or to do something, especially, well, sometimes that thing is not so good for us.
That's right, a temptation. Of course, there are lots of temptations in the world, especially if you stop by the local bakery and you're on a diet. Ooh, that big piece of chocolate cake is a big temptation. It looks so good. My mouth is watering. I've got to get out of this bakery before I give in to temptation. So, of course, when you have that money, my goodness, it's so tempting to spend that money, and before you know it, you've bought a movie ticket, you've bought milk tea. That money is all gone. Where did that money go? My goodness, I need to be better with my money.
That's right, because these little things add up. But when you're spending money on milk tea, because the amount seems so little, it's not going to make a difference. But at the end of the month, if you do that every day, buy milk tea every day, snacks at the convenience store every day, all of that adds up. But don't worry, because saving money is a learned skill. And just like any skill, time and practice are necessary to get good at it.
Right, so of course this is a skill that you need to learn. That's why we're describing it as a learned skill. Again, something you need to practice, something that you need to study and get good at. This word here in this particular case is pronounced learned, but you may also have heard people pronounce this as learned. That would describe a person who knows a lot of things, like your mother is a very learned person, for example.
Right. Or your teacher is a very learned person who teaches you a lot of things, who's had a lot of experiences and has read a lot of books.
But here, of course, we're describing the skill that you need to learn, so it's a learned skill. And just like any skill, time and practice are necessary to get good at it. That's true of any skill. If you want to get good at basketball, for example, or if you want to get good at the violin or the piano, of course, practice makes perfect. You need to spend a lot of time, and the same is true with saving money. You've got to practice it over time because, again, we've got that temptation to spend that money, especially when we get our paycheck.
That's it. So don't worry, even though it's a skill that needs to be learned, it's something that you can develop over time with a bit of practice. And when we come back, we'll look at how we can save money.
In order to get off to a strong start, you'll first need to lay some groundwork. Try to get a clear picture of your spending habits. There are tons of apps available that will allow you to log what you spend each day and then give you a summary of your expenditures. Being able to identify the areas where you're overspending should help you focus your future efforts in the right place. You should also consider setting up a savings account. By separating your savings from your regular spending money, you minimize the chance of dipping into your savings accidentally.
第二部分我们看到单字 groundwork 这个字是名词，指基础、根基。举例来说 Trust and respect are the groundwork of any relationship. 信任和尊重是任何情感关系的基础。 另外 groundwork 除了上面的意思，还可以指准备工作。我们可以说 I think we need to do some more groundwork before we pitch that idea to the boss. 我想在我们向老板提出那个意见前，还需要一些准备工作。再另外补充一个片语，可以用 lay the groundwork 来表示为点点点奠定基础，做好准备工作。可以说 The trip laid the groundwork for the collaboration, so now we just need to finalize the details. 这趟差旅已为合作奠定基础，所以现在我们只要完成细节就行了。接下来我们看到一个名词 expenditure， 有支出、消费的意思。例如 You should make sure your expenditures are low enough each month so you can save some money. 你必须确定你每个月的支出不会太高，这样你才能够存钱。接下来我们看到一个片语 dip into something， 代表动用、花费。举例来说 After the meal, the manager dipped into his purse and paid the check. 吃完饭后，经理掏腰包付了账单。另外这个片语还可以指涉足。我们可以说 Wise entrepreneurs slowly dip into new markets before committing. 明智的企业家在完全投入前，会先慢慢的跨足新的市场。最后我们看到副词 accidentally， 用来指不小心的、意外的。像是 I accidentally stepped on a woman's toes in the packed elevator. 我在拥挤的电梯里不小心踩到一名女子的脚趾。另外，去除 accidentally 字尾的 ly， 可以成为它的形容词 accidental， 指意外的、无意间的。所以可以说 Don't do your homework too quickly, or else you'll make a lot of accidental mistakes. 做功课时不要写太快，不然很容易无意犯错。
Okay, everybody, let's start talking about the second part of our lesson. So, of course, we told you that saving money is important and it's easy to give in to temptation. So, here in the second part of our lesson, we're trying to tell you what you can do to save that money. So, in order to get off to a strong start, you'll first need to lay some groundwork. Now, here we've got the phrase to get off to a strong start. That means to begin something in a positive way, okay? So if you're running a marathon, for example, if you get off to a strong start, that means you start running fairly fast so you get ahead. But of course, you got to be careful because you might get tired later. But in this particular case, if you're trying to save money, you want to start doing things right at the beginning. You don't want to fail before you even start.
And how do you start things off positively? You can start by laying down some groundwork. Groundwork here, of course, means work that you do in order to prepare for something. So you start with some groundwork. You prepare yourself. That way you can begin to save money in a positive way and you'll probably see good results. Now, laying down groundwork involves, first of all, getting a clear picture of your spending habits. So we should try to get a clear picture of our spending habits.
Yes, of course, we spend money every day, right? And we're busy with school and with work and with our family and our friends and our spouses and our children and stuff like that. So we probably lose track of what we're spending our money on. So at least for me, many years ago, I decided to make a list of all my expenses every day for a whole month. And I was kind of surprised, at where I was spending money and where I wasn't. So this is probably what this is talking about. But that, of course, was many years ago when I was using paper. But I guess nowadays you can use your good old smartphone.
That's right. Nowadays, there are tons of apps available that will allow you to log what you spend each day and then give you a summary of your expenditures. So these days, we have a lot of apps available. Available here means the ability to be obtained or to be used. So there are a lot of apps out there, in other words, that you can use. And apps are, of course, a lot more convenient because they're right in your phone. Every time you spend something, you can just log it into your phone instead of having to pull out a notebook or a pencil or a pen from your bag, and that might make you forget to write down some of the things you've spent money on.
Indeed, so you don't have to have a pad of paper and a pencil to write everything down. You can use an app. They are available. As you said, that's something that you can have access to. You could also use this to talk about whether or not someone is free or not. I have a job that I need your help with. Are you available tomorrow? Can you come over and help me tomorrow? And sometimes we also use this word to talk about boys and girls. If you're, chasing after a girl or a boy, you might want to know, hey, I'm kind of interested in her. I think she's pretty cute. Is she available? In other words, is she free? Does she have a boyfriend? Is it okay for me to try to ask her out on a date? But here we're talking about apps that are available from, the iPhone store or the Google store or wherever you get these things.
Right. There are a lot of apps that you can download on your phone or onto your computer, and these apps will help you keep track of the money that you're spending every month. So the first piece of advice is to understand how you spend your money. You can't begin to save if you have no idea where your money is going.
Right, so one way to know where your money is going every day is to log what you spend each day using these apps. Log here is a verb. It just means to simply write something down to report something, and that will give you a summary of your expenditures.
Right, because being able to identify the areas where you're overspending should help you focus your future efforts in the right place. Now here, to identify something, the verb means to recognize something and understand exactly what it is. So if you identify the areas where you're spending a lot of money on, this could be snacks or transportation or clothing or something that you don't even realize you're spending a lot of money on. Once you get a picture of that, you can try to spend less money in that area, for instance.
Right, so I suppose you need to have categories. How much money did I spend at the 7-Eleven? How much money did I spend on gasoline or scooter repairs or whatever? So with all those things written down, you can identify where you're spending that money. To identify just means to simply point something out or to know where something is. For example, I could say, ma'am, can you identify the man who stole your purse? Yes, he's the guy there in the mustache with the fuzzy hair. Okay, so in this particular case, you want to identify or tell the areas where you're overspending. I suspect I overspend in convenience stores.
I think I overspend in transportation because I try to take public transportation, but sometimes I'm running late or I have to get somewhere where public transportation isn't very convenient. I end up taking a taxi, and that can cost a lot of money at the end of the month.
It sure can. I save money by riding my bicycle a lot, but yes, transportation can be quite expensive. So indeed, you need to identify those areas where you're overspending, and that should help you focus your future efforts in the right place. Know where to save that money and to stop spending, etc., etc. Now, you should also consider setting up a savings account. So yes, that's a place where you can put your money in the bank. At least, I haven't opened an account in many years. They would usually ask you, do you want to have a checking account or a savings account? Do people still have checking accounts?
I think people still use checking accounts for business or if you have to, let's say, pay rent. So for certain circumstances, I think people still use checking accounts. But these days, most people usually just transfer money from the ATM or from one account to another.
So you wouldn't need checks so much. So you would need a savings account. So that's a good way to keep track of your money. And by separating your savings from your regular spending money, you minimize the chance of dipping into your savings accidentally. So yes, indeed, basically, the advantage here is to minimize the chance of using too much of your savings. Minimize just means to use something as little as possible.
Right. It's to lower the chance, lower the opportunity of doing that thing. So if you set up a separate savings account, you minimize or lower your chances of spending money from your savings, of dipping into your savings accidentally. To dip into means to take some money from an amount that you have saved, especially when you shouldn't be taking that money. And accidentally just means you didn't do it intentionally. You did it by mistake or by chance. So I could say, for instance, I accidentally stepped on my cat's tail and my cat screamed and ran away.
That's quite common for people who have cats. Don't those cats learn a lesson? They're always letting people step on their tails accidentally. Hopefully people aren't doing that on purpose. Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson for today. Let's go on and listen to the third and final part.
After you're all set up, you can then start taking steps to maximize how much you save.
And welcome back. So we've looked at some ways that you can set up the groundwork, to lay some groundwork for saving money. And one of these ways is to log all of your expenditures so that you know where you're spending your money. And the other way is to open a savings account. That way you can put money away and you can put it aside from the money that you would spend every month. And these two things are just the more important things that you can do to begin saving money.
Indeed. So, of course, you're all set up. You've opened your savings account. You've downloaded the app to your smartphone. So now you can start taking steps to maximize how much you save. So you want to minimize the amount of money that you waste, and you want to maximize your savings so you can put some money away for a rainy day. Save that money up for that once-in-a-lifetime trip to Europe, or maybe you're going to buy a nice fancy car someday. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation. Let's hear from our Chinese teacher now.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文一开始提到，我们都被告诫过存钱的重要，但实际上存钱并没有那么容易。他就说 Putting something away for a rainy day isn't as easy as your parents might make it out to be. 储蓄以备不时之需，并不像父母说的那么容易。这边要介绍3个片语。第一个是介绍 put away， 它在课文里面是表达把什么储存收起来。Put money away 就表示存钱。好，那其实这个片语还有很多其他的意思。像第一个，我们可以用 put away 来表达收拾好，放回原位。像爸爸妈妈可能会对孩子说 Put your toys away， 把你的玩具收起来，把它收好，归回原位。第二种，我们可以在口语当中把 put away 用来表达吃啊、喝，那这通常是指吃下大量的食物之类的。同学们就可以想象，你把食物通通都收进肚子里面，这样也许就会记得 put away 有吃的语义。举例来说Bob just put away a whole pizza on his own. Bob 刚刚自己一个人吃掉一整个披萨。好，第三种我们是用 put somebody away， 可以用来表达说把某人送进监狱啊，或者是送进精神病院之类的。再来介绍第二个片语是 for a rainy day， 它表示以备不时之需。我们可以说 save money for a rainy day， 或者是 save for a rainy day 来表达存钱以备不时之需。这就像我们中文说的未雨绸缪。好，那你也可以说 put aside money 或者是 set aside money 再加上 for a rainy day 来表达相近的语义。好，再来看到第三个片语是 make out。Make out 在课文里面它表示声称或者是企图证明，不过呢它通常是指说试图描述成某一种错误的形象。我们可以用 make something or somebody out to be 加上名词或形容词来表达把某人或是某事物说成是怎么样怎么样的，那这就暗指说那个认知啊是不正确的。例如The politician isn't as good as he's made out to be. 那位政治人物并没有像大家说的那么好，大家把他描述得很好，可是呢，我们用这个例句来表达说这个认知是不正确的。好，另外呢 make out 还有其他的用法。第一种可以用来表达辨识出或者是听出、看出来，这通常是指说你设法勉强可以辨识出什么什么。例如 She couldn't make out the number plate of the car. 他没看清楚那辆车的车牌号码，可能太远啦，可能有点模糊，看不清楚。好，那么第二个我们可以用 make out 来表达弄清楚或是理解。I can't make out whether he's joking. 我搞不清楚他是不是在开玩笑诶。好啦，那么以上是今天的重点整理，我们来回顾今天的单字吧。
Lecture. After I did badly on a test, my parents lectured me about the importance of studying. Temptation. Josh gave in to temptation and had a second piece of chocolate cake. Learned. Many bad habits are learned behaviors that can be very difficult to change. Available. Annabelle moved to the city, where many more jobs were available. Identify. When we identify our mistakes, we can learn how to avoid making them again in the future. Accidentally. Be careful not to accidentally drop your phone and crack its screen.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I'm Helen.
See you next time.